Hello. Hey. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to get set up. Because you know I ain't did live in a minute. So give me a second. Let me get myself set up. All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Okay, good, good, good. Hey, what's going on, family? What's going on? What's going on? I'm just gonna give people a little bit of time to come in, get themselves situated. Y'all, this gonna be one for the history book. So make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you got your tea, your popcorn. Mm. I'm just waiting on a few more people to filter in. First and foremost, I owe y'all an apology. Y'all know I ain't shit when it comes to these YouTube videos. I be trying, y'all. I swear I be trying. But I hate that we have to come together under these circumstances, but I have been carrying some really, really deep, dark stuff that some really deep, dark secrets that I just wanna share with the family. These secrets are so deep and dark that nobody in my family is even aware. Y'all are being made aware of this before my own son. So, but we've been through so much together already. So, um, you know, we like a family, we like a community. So, yeah, that's why I have to free myself and share this information with you all. Please just give me confirmation that you can hear me before I get started. You good? All right, so I have got this deep dark secret. Hey, can you hear me? Okay, I see somebody said hi, but that don't say yes. I can hear you. But anyway, okay. So check this out, right? Whew. I just pray for assistance and guidance from my ancestors, my spirit guides, and the spiritual realm to help me to deliver this message, um, so that I can free myself from this situation internally. So when I say that I have a very, very, very dark secret to share, um, so right before I retired, My sister, she got real sick, right? But she didn't tell us. She was MIA for some time. It was about a month before I retired, and we was like, "What is going on with her? Where is she at?" And she wouldn't answer the phone. She was ducking and dodging our calls. And come to find out, at my retirement ceremony, she popped in, and I think the worst of our fears came true. My sister, she was a plump, voluptuous somebody. When she came to my retirement, y'all, my retirement ceremony, man, she was wafer thin. So our fears were we were afraid that something was wrong, that she was ducking and dodging us, because maybe she was sick. And that is exactly what ended up happening. She was sick with cancer, and she lost her battle with cancer. May she rest in peace and bless her spirit and her soul. Her name is Julene, and I miss her and love her so much. So the story begins with my sister's passing, right? Well, before she passed, I was helping to take care of her a little bit because she got real sick, y'all. She was in Atlanta and I was living in South Carolina. So I would go to Atlanta to help her, you know, to be with her because everybody else in my family was working. So I had the time and I could do that. So I'm in Atlanta with her, helping to get her to chemo and, helping to get all of her affairs in order. So she lost her battle, right? She had lung cancer. She lost her battle. And it wasn't the cancer. She ended up contracting pneumonia because this is around the time when COVID had come out. So yeah, she ended up passing because of pneumonia. But around the time that my sister passed away, you know, um, I had kind of pulled back from my family because it was just really, it didn't sit well with me that my sister was so sick and so ill. And for so much of her life, people had so many negative things to say about her. Um, Even while she was sick and kind of on her deathbed, people had negative things to say about her, but in her face, you know what I'm saying? They would never say those things to her in her face. So that really led me to believe, like, dang, if they treat her like that, then they probably doing the same thing to me. So I kind of pulled back from my family, right? I didn't deal with them. And then, so I kind of started focusing on myself and going deeper into my spiritual journey, right? And I started making YouTube videos. So that's when you see the YouTube videos that are posted on my channel from a while back where people was clowning me. It was like, oh, before you met Chucky, you ain't have no views. You ain't had this. You ain't had that. They right. I was in nature doing my thing on my spiritual journey, trying to figure it out, trying to figure out, where I fit in on YouTube with my spiritual path. So I started making videos in March of 2022 in nature. And I'm noticing that I'm seeing these planes, right? I'm noticing that I'm starting to see planes as I go out to the area where I typically make my videos. I'm seeing these white crop duster planes, right? They're flying. It's like every time that I go out to make a video, I see these planes and I'm like, that's kind of weird. So I started recording it with my phone and with my camcorder, and I'm like, why the hell am I seeing these planes? And why is it like every time I get on the scene, I start seeing these like white crop duster planes? So I just started recording it. I didn't really think much of it, but I was making my videos. And then all of a sudden I started hearing these planes in my videos. So I'm like, what is going on? Why are these planes like every time I get to the park to record, every time I go to the river to record, I'm seeing these planes. So then, okay, fast forward a month or two later, after I'm starting to see all these planes show up. Now I'm starting to see black helicopters. We got these black helicopters showing up. Every time I leave my community to go walk my dogs, like we had a park up the street, I would go out to walk my dogs, and these black helicopters would come. Well, not, it wasn't a few at a time. It would be like one helicopter would come up, and the windows would be blacked out. And I was like, I wonder if that's affiliated with these planes that I'm seeing while I'm making, making my videos out at the river. So as time goes on, this doesn't stop, y'all. It just doesn't stop. And whoever it is targeting me everywhere I go, following my every step with these planes, these these little small, it's like the planes that people use, the executives, the CEOs, those type of planes, like Cessnas, like the little small twin engine planes. But everywhere that I go, I notice that I'm seeing these planes and these helicopters. So I was like, this is kind of weird. I was like, is somebody targeting me with aircraft? Like, am I tripping? Like, and then it hit me, bro, you being targeted with aircraft. People are really using aircraft to target you. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you who it is in a second. Just bear with me and follow me as I break this down, right? So, the white jets, the helicopters are flying over my house um all day, all night, making passes over my house, right? I go to the store, they passing over at the store. They passing, I go out to the field, I go to the base, to Fort Jackson, to walk my dogs. They passing by while I'm walking my dogs. So I'm like, bro, somebody is most definitely targeting me. And if they can get into the airspace over a military base, bruh, come on now. They have to have some deep ties, because I was aviation. When I was in the army, I was aviation for like 18 years. So I can identify different aircraft. I can identify airspace, air routes. Like when I moved into my house in South Carolina, there weren't any planes flying over my house. That wasn't no flight path or nothing like that. So this thing just came out of the blue. And remember, I said it was when I separated from my family, when I pulled back from my family to focus on my spiritual path. Because I pulled back from my family, I pulled back from my friends. I wasn't talking to anybody. It was just me focusing on me, right? After I retired. And so it was like, somebody ain't like that. I don't know who the hell it was, but somebody didn't like that. So then once I noticed that the helicopters and the jets, were following me, trying to harass me with noise disturbance, then I noticed the commercial planes started to come in play. Okay, so I'm like, I'm outside and I'm seeing these commercial planes like fly over my house, and I'm like, bruh, okay. So not only are they like, you have these military jets, and some of them are like dark gray. These military looking helicopters, they're black with blacked out windows, and now we have commercial aircraft flying over my house at like very low what is it, like a low what is it called when, anyway, they're flying at a very low altitude to create a lot of noise disturbance, right? All throughout the night, all morning, all day. And so I just decided, I said, okay, I'm gonna call the FAA. I'm gonna call my local FAA to make a complaint, to figure out, to see if I can find out what's going on, to see who can tell me something about, where I can make a complaint, or find out like where these aircraft are coming from. So I called a guy at the FAA, and he put me onto this app. It's called Flight Aware. So I get on the app, right? And he said you can track any flight that's going or coming, you know, over in whatever kind of proximity you put in. If you want a 5 mile radius, if you want a 6 mile radius. So I get on Flight Aware, and bruh, I open up to find out where these aircraft are coming from and these helicopters. And when I tell you, y'all, they were like, I found like maybe a fleet of 12 aircraft that I tracked that were, it seems to be, they were contracted, right? They had tail numbers, but what is it called? Call their identifier, they call them chaos. And I'll post some of these, I'll post some screenshots of these to back up my story after I finish the live. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm looking on this app and it shows you where these aircraft are starting from, their flight route. And so I'm looking at the route, bruh, and I found the grid coordinates to my house, right? That way I can look on their route to see if they passed my house. And they were passing my house like purposefully, and it shows you their altitude on Flight Aware for how high and how low they are when they pass. It is drones. So look, they are drones. Exactly. Somebody said drones in the comments. So look, so it's a fleet of drones, right, that are being operated by some privately contracted company. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you who it is in a second. Just bear with me. Just go along with me with this, right? So I'm using the FlightAware app, and something told me, because, at this time, I was, something told me to look to see, check Aiden's address. His I went on Google. I found the grid coordinates for Aiden's, that's my child. For his apartment. They were in proximity of his apartment as well. So they're surveilling him and they're surveilling me. They're following me, but they're following me and watching me, but they're watching Aiden as well. And Aiden lives like an hour south of me, right? So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm on Fort Jackson walking my dogs. They come to Fort Jackson flying in military airspace. Who the fuck can give them authorization to fly in military airspace? Please, somebody explain that to me. How do you get authorization to fly in military airspace? Their staging area was within a 5 mile radius of my home at McIntyre. It's like McIntyre Air Force Base or National Guard base or some shit like that. They are drones. That's what I've come to know and understand. But they were stationed like 5 miles from where I was living in South Carolina at McIntyre Air Base. And I'm like, bruh, I served in the military for 26 years. I served in aviation for 18 of those 26 years. And you mean to tell me that someone has been approved to stalk and target me with aircraft that are affiliated with the military? Can't be. Not in the America that I serve for. It can't be. There is no fucking way in the world that the America that I served in the military for 26 years could be authorizing these aircraft to fly over me in airspace on a military base and to stage their aircraft at a military site. So then not only were they using helicopters, fixed wing jets, these little single engine jet propelled small planes, then they started using fighter jets to fucking fly over my house. You know how goddamn loud a fighter jet is. When they pass over your fucking pass through the sky, they sound like they screaming, like they about to rip everything out of the sky with them. They started blowing by my house with them shits, right? But I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you who it is. Give me a second, right? So, so that was in South Carolina, right? So I'm retired. I'm traveling. I said, let me just take a trip up to Maryland, right? So I took a trip up to Maryland for no, actually it was Virginia, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. I'm staying at Fort Belvoir. Same shit. These people are authorized to fuck with me at Fort Belvoir. They're authorized to fuck with me. I'm at Fort Belvoir, minding my motherfucking business with my dogs, and they're flying over the damn hotel space where I'm staying. They're flying over the hotel. I'm outside walking my dogs. They got helicopters and shit going by. I'm on military land, y'all. The same military that I served in. But I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you who in a second. Just go with me, right? So that's Fort Belvoir. Then I went to visit my mom in North Carolina, where she's right next to Fort Bragg. It's the same shit. They flying helicopters and shit over in the airspace by my mom's house and shit. You know what I'm saying? To try to antagonize me. Who the fuck is this antagonizing me with aircraft? Why the fuck would they want to antagonize me? I served 26 years in the military, right? So then I go to Jamaica. That's when I meet Chucky, right? I get to Jamaica. They flying over Chucky's house, y'all. They flying aircraft and helicopters over Chucky's house. And I'm trying to explain to Chucky and show Chucky. I'm like, look at this shit. Like, but this is when after we met and after, you know what I'm saying, we kind of got to know each other, and I felt comfortable showing him this, right? Telling him this. Because let me tell you something. I call it a very, very dark secret. Something that I've been keeping close hold to myself. I've not shared it with anybody. I've not told anybody. You know why? You know why? Because I said to myself when this bullshit started, I said, as soon as I come out and try to say something, they're going to try to say, oh, she's crazy. That's the narrative that they're going to try to paint around it. Oh, she's crazy. That's why I never said anything. And I've been holding this close to my chest since 2022 when it started. It's 2025 and it's still going, but it's ramped up from there. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you who it is in a second. But let me show you how it progresses and how it ramps up and morphs into some different shit, right? So they start off with the aircraft. So I'm in Jamaica, you know, hanging out with Chucky. I got this flight aware app that the guy at the FAA gave me in South Carolina, but I'm not able to use it in Jamaica. So he's thinking that he's like, oh, it's just the Jamaican Jamaican army or whatever. They're with their aircraft flying over, whatever. But it's bullshit, y'all. They followed me to Jamaica. They had a satellite set up right above his house that was bright as fuck. I have pictures that I will upload, um, possibly, probably. But yeah, they had a satellite right outside of his home. But he knew that because he always would say there's Elon Musk. He called it the Elon Musk satellite. And he also made reference to the fact that he was like, oh, it's just the FBI, or, you know what I'm saying? Like something like that. Like, and I'm like, that was always my damn speculation that it was somebody had to be very, very, very deeply embedded within the government realm somewhere. And the only deeper and higher that you can go outside of other than the government is the Roman Catholic Church and the body of quote unquote elites right? The Illuminati, the fake Illuminati, the fake elites. That is the only higher organization you can go outside of the Roman Catholic Church, is the body of the shadow, the people that hide in the shadows, the billionaires. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the Rothschilds and whoever, the Bilderbergs and whoever the fuck run with all them damn goofy ass people, right? So, all right. So we talk. So I bring him to the States, right? And we recording videos. And in my footage, I'm having to fucking stop the camera. I'm having to stop the camera with him every time we record when a fucking plane comes over. And I'm telling this man, I'm like, look at this shit. These people have been following me since 2022. And he's just kind of like blowing it off, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't what it is. But we recording videos and I'm having to stop the videos because the fucking planes are flying over our head. We get, like I said, we were in Brooklyn. We were staying at a hostel in Brooklyn, and they flying over the hostel. Commercial planes, though, this time flying low, flying lower, at lower altitudes to create that noise disturbance, right? So we do it. We take our trip to the States. You know, he's getting to experience this firsthand, what I've been experiencing before I met him, years before I met him. Um, and there was one instance where we were at the Statue of Liberty, right? And but we were on the Jersey side. We weren't on the New York side. We were on the Jersey side, which is a little bit. It's like a boardwalk, right? I think I did post some of that footage, and you will see some helicopter. I left one shot of the helicopter in that footage from us being in New York, at the Statue of Liberty. Bro, when I tell you we was at the Statue of Liberty, they fucking acted a monkey. It was like 20 fucking helicopters out there. It was like 20 helicopters and planes fucking everywhere. And I'm like, bruh, this is fucking absolutely crazy. And I'm like, bro, are you seeing this? I'm telling Chucky, like, are you seeing this? And he's like, oh, after 9/11, after 9/11, they just want to have extra security. And I'm like, bro, this is bullshit. These are the same fucking people that have been following me from South Carolina to North Carolina to Virginia to fucking now to New York to Maryland, every fucking where that I go. So we do our trip to the States. I get back home. I mean, we get back to Jamaica, and that was November. So no, that was December. January we got back home. By March, y'all know my dog had got sick, right? So I had to make an emergency trip home to come and see about my dog, and ended up having to put my dog to sleep, bro. So I put my dog to sleep. I came out of the vet, out of the building, from putting my dog to sleep. I look up in the sky, and these motherfuckers is flying over the damn veterinarian clinic, spraying chemtrails in the sky. As if I'm already shot out because I done lost my best friend of 17 years, my sweet little fur baby Fancy, the little black poodle that y'all saw that I had. I had to put her to sleep. And they out spraying chemtrails right above the building as I walk outside. So I'm just like, bro, who the fuck is this targeting me? So now, not only did they were they doing this, but now they started ramping it up. Now they started, involving the local fire department. They started involving the ambulance. They started involving the local police department to follow me, to target me, family, in South Carolina. Remember, I went to South Carolina to see about my dog. I had to put her to sleep, but I also was going with the objective to clear out my house because I wanted to move to Jamaica. We were looking for houses. We were looking for a house for me and him and I. We were looking for a house for me so that we could um start up a second Airbnb type of thing. But I wanted mine to be a hostel. And he was pretty excited about helping me to get that, up and running. He even offered, I don't know how true this was, but he offered to give me $10,000 to go towards my, startup, or to purchase a home, to start a hostel. Listen, these people. So I came home to have these yard sales to sell off all the stuff in my house, right? Sell off all the stuff in my house. I'm outside putting up stakes to start the yard sale, right? All throughout the community, throughout the like the surrounding streets, out in the community. And what blows by me at 6 o'clock in the morning, when it like ain't nothing moving? Two fire trucks, y'all. Two fire trucks come blaring by me with these loud ass sirens. I mean, just noise, disturbance. So the planes aren't enough. The planes, the helicopters, the jets, the commercial flights, they're not enough. So now they're using the fire trucks, right? So so that was the morning of the yard sale. My neighbor was so kind to come out and help me at the yard sale. And we're setting up, and all we see is commercial planes flying over my house and flying right in front of my house at very, very low altitudes. I'm looking up and I'm seeing freaking um what airlines? I wrote them down. I saw Delta, American Airlines, Southwest Airlines. Um, there were just commercial planes flying at low altitudes over my home, in and around my house. So at the yard sale, I'm telling my neighbor every chance that I get. I tell my neighbor, or I'll text her. Like if I hear something that's super super low, I'll text her. I'll be like, "Did you hear that?" Because I want it to be locked in her consciousness, so that if I ever find out who it is, or if something ever comes out to the public that some type of operation is going on, she'll have it locked into her consciousness that I made her aware of it, right? So every time she lived right next door to me, Miss Cynthia. But every time I would hear something really, really low or see something, I'd be like, "Girl, there they go, there they go." You know what I'm saying? As they're flying over while we're having the yard sale, creating their noise disturbance. So I had my other neighbor who lived across the street from me. I also jogged it in her consciousness as well, because I was like, I said, "Have you been hearing really low flying aircraft lately?" She was like, "I have." She said, but the worst part is the helicopter. She said there's a helicopter that's like hovering right outside my damn window all day, all night. Like she works at I think a power plant or something, a nuclear plant or something like that, and they do like shift work. So she had a shift. She had a shift where like she get off at some weird hours and like sleep during the day. She be trying to sleep during the day or whatever. However it go. But the helicopter was like in close proximity to where she couldn't even freaking sleep. So now it's locked in her consciousness, right? That there is aircraft disturbance in our neighborhood. And but these aircraft are following me everywhere. I go downtown Columbia to walk around, maybe to go get a slice of pizza or something, and the fucking helicopter comes out of nowhere, right? Nobody around me knows what the fuck is going on, but the helicopter comes out of nowhere. Or I'm down there, I don't know, doing whatever the hell I'm doing. I don't know, maybe going to a store to buy some rolling papers or some shit. And then the fighter planes, the F-15s or whatever the hell they are, Air Force jets come screaming by, right? But I'm gonna tell you who it is, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second. So I have the yard sale, you know, and then I have the yard sale, and then something tells me to leave, to leave the house. And I ain't talking about leave like as in leave to go take a trip somewhere. I'm talking about leave because it's not safe. You got these people watching you. You got these people watching your son. It's time to leave. So I just dipped, left everything in the house as is, and I went to Atlanta. But of course, they followed me to Atlanta, right? You already know that, right? So I'm in an Airbnb in Atlanta, and that's when I recorded the video about not attending the funeral for Chucky's funeral. I was in an Airbnb in Atlanta at that time, and they're flying over the Airbnb, the helicopter, the low flying planes. They're flying over the Airbnb. Um, Anytime I go to the park, the helicopters come flying around the park where I am at the park. Um, so the Atlanta Police Department, everywhere I go, I see the Atlanta Police Department. Just like, no, let me take that back. It ain't no everywhere I go, I see the Atlanta Police Department. When I was in South Carolina, they was following me. I'll be driving in my car, look up, and they be behind me. In Atlanta, it was the same thing. I'd be on the highway driving, getting off at an exit, look in my rear view mirror, and the police officer is behind me. Or I'd be getting on the highway, and then they time it to where they're getting on at the same time as I'm going by, as if they're trying to intimidate. They want to intimidate or instill some type of fear inside of me, right? With the police intimidation, the fire trucks, the ambulance. When I was in South Carolina, I would be driving down the street, and then the ambulance would come out of nowhere, blaring the sirens loud, and you know what I'm saying, following me like as if they're on a route that has to go somewhere. So South Carolina is using aircraft, police, fire department. Atlanta, same thing. Collaborating with the FAA for these commercial flights to be low flying in wherever I am, the fire departments, the police department. I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you who in a second. So then I left Atlanta. I went to back to North Carolina to visit my mom. Bro, when I tell you the helicopter traffic that was coming in and around my mother's house, it was so it was so bad I had to leave. I had to leave. So terrible I had to leave. And then the aircraft, the low flying aircraft, but it was more helicopters because Fort Bragg is right there, right? So they can just, I guess they could just play it off as if, oh, we got official, we really doing some official training or some official business or some shit like that. So I left from my mom's house, went to Maryland. Same shit. They flying over my brother's house. I'm in my brother's house in Maryland. My nieces, my nieces are standing at the door saying, "Ooh, helicopter, helicopter." My two little nieces, they're flying over my brother's house to troll me, and my little nieces are outside. Oh, the helicopter, the helicopter. We on base. I'm at the playground with them, pushing them in the swings, playing with them at the playground on base in Maryland at the Edgewood Arsenal, and the helicopters are flying over the playground. Military airspace. Remember, I told you these are black helicopters and the windows are blacked out. So I can't see in the helicopters if these helicopters are big. They're drones. They're drones. Somebody is sitting in a basement, some fucking where, or a bunker, or some shit, flying these damn drones. The little prop planes, the little jets that they would fly over to make a little noise, to make the noise disturbance? Drones. The ones that were parked like 5 miles away from my house at that little base? Drones. The ones that were surveilling our house that I saw, I have the tail numbers and all the information, their flight routes and plans and wherever they were going? Drones. Who in the hell is authorized to get their hands on drones to target a citizen, a U.S. citizen, a tax-paying, law-abiding, retired, disabled veteran that already has a noted in their medical records that they have PTSD, suffer from anxiety? Who? Who would authorize that? I'm gonna tell you who, and I'm gonna tell you why. Just hold on, hold on. I'm almost at the point. The main culmination, I guess you could say, of the story. So now, okay. So I left off. I was in Atlanta, right? So then I left from Atlanta, went to Maryland, see my family. Da 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 da. These people still, going at it with the aircraft. So, and with the police, of course, the Maryland police. You know, they're everywhere. Coincidentally, they're everywhere around me. Everywhere I go, everywhere that I pull up, they're there. Coincidentally, right? The Maryland police, Virginia, DC. Oh, and I didn't even mention DC. When me and Chucky went to DC, oh, my nigga. Oh, bro. When me and Chucky went to DC and we went to the monument, I had the hardest time recording footage because they would not stop flying the planes, the commercial planes, over the damn monument, the Washington Monument. And from what I know of, that is highly, highly illegal. It's unheard of because the Washington Monument is just that, a monument. It's a historical. They didn't give a fuck. The monument had been split in the past because of earthquakes. It had been split. And so, it was the biggest shit ever. Like when 9/11 happened, because I was in aviation during that time. You do not fly in DC airspace. You do not fly commercial aircraft in certain areas of DC airspace. Period. Point blank, period. Bro, when I tell you they could have landed them motherfucking aircraft on the Capitol. I promise you, when me and Chucky were there, they could have landed them damn aircraft on our fucking head. They were that aggressive. And again, Chucky's like, la da da. Like, oh, I don't see nothing. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. He don't see nothing. So fast forward to now, where I'm at now in the state that I'm at now. Let me tell you what happened to me yesterday. So yesterday, I'm out. I'm at this place. I park my car at this little trail where it's a little secluded, but it's leading out to a bike trail, right? So I'm finished with my little bike ride and my activities or whatever. And as I'm putting my bike as no, as I'm riding my bike down the path to go to my car, a police officer passes me by in his SUV and goes down to where my car is parked and stops and stays there as I'm putting which I didn't mind. Shit, I'm like, shit, it's secluded back here. That's you know, you doing me a favor, broski, because it's secluded. I appreciated that. Cause I know they ain't about shit. It's all they're all trying to project fear and intimidation for whatever reason. I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you who in 2 seconds. Okay, I pray this isn't that long. I don't even know how the hell long I've been talking, but anyway, so now let me tell you who would have the power to authorize this, y'all. Who the fuck would have the power to authorize this to happen on military bases? Who? Outside of the federal government, the FBI, the CIA, the shadow group that stands above the federal government, the shadow group that gives their orders, that stands be above the US government. There is no, bruh, how do you explain it? How do you explain it? Who gives that level of authorization outside of the FBI and CIA? Who has these aircraft? Who has these connections with the FAA to have the power to tell the FAA to route commercial aircraft to fly at a lower altitude when they cross over my airspace? But let me tell y'all something. While all of this is going on from 2022 up until now, where I'm at right now is like a retirement community. It's where like where a lot of wealthy people live. And they don't play that shit around here. These people targeted me when I was in South Carolina in a black community. They targeted me when I was in Maryland in my brother's black community. They don't give a fuck if you're in a black community. But if you're in a white community with white upper middle class, rich folks, quiet as a mouse. You don't hear shit. I don't hear nothing around here. Where I'm at, they fly over every once in a while, but it ain't nothing like it was in South Carolina. You hear me? Nothing like it was in South Carolina. Money. It's about money. And exposure. They don't give a shit about disturbing the peace in a black neighborhood, but in a white, predominantly white, affluent neighborhood, shit, forget about it. They not coming out of the shadows at all. But let me tell y'all something. So I just told you who, right? Connect those pieces. The CIA, the FBI, the federal government, the military. I'm gonna tell you why in a second. The secret societies that stand above the federal government. Some can include Masons. That would be an example of a secret society who has a network of connections within the system that bypasses laws, that bypasses all kind of shit. You have people like Masons that bypass the judicial laws. They have lawyers, they have judges, they have police chiefs. They look out for one another. They're a connected community. That's just an example. I'm not saying that it's them, but I'm saying that it's an organization like that that has targeted me. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Oh, and let me throw in the Roman Catholic Church. I'm gonna tell you. Let me throw in the Roman Catholic Church in that group with the government, with the government's contracted private companies that own these aircraft, these private contractors that are on standby to do dirty work if they need to in the shadows, to target innocent people from the shadows. This is their network, okay? I'm gonna tell you why. I had my spiritual awakening in 2014, right? When Trayvon Martin was killed. I don't know I don't know what happened, but it was like my third eye busted completely open in 2014. And I started noticing and seeing everything. I started seeing through all the bullshit. I started seeing things like what was going on with the pharmaceutical companies, what was going on with the agriculture, how, they were taking all the seeds and nutrients out of the seeds, putting you know what is this, glyphosate and herbicides inside the seeds, injecting, tearing down all the family farms and forcing these farms to use these genetically modified seeds, changing our food supply, changing our air supply, all the chemtrails that they spray in the air, because they don't want the freaking solar management, whatever the fuck. They don't want the awakening. They know the sun is tied in to our third eye and our awakening. They don't want that shit, right? So I'm seeing all of this shit, and I'm being extremely vocal on social media. I'm spilling the tea on every fucking thing that I find, every stone that I unturn, and I'm letting that shit fly on social media. And can't nobody stop me, and can't nobody shut me up. I got family saying, you better slow down. You better not talk like that. You better not talk like that, because blah, 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 blah. You might be a target. The same family that I tore away from, that I didn't like because they used to talk shit about my sister before she got sick, while she was sick, and probably now that she ain't even with us no more. They was the same family. And they got ties to people who are intelligence, military intelligence in the Air Force. They got ties to retired FBI. They got ties and connections. So it's just odd to me how when I pulled away from my family, I pulled away from all my friends. And when I kind of pulled back into myself to be isolated with myself and focus on my spirituality, that's when all of this came. That's when all of this came through. All the targeting, aircraft, the local and state police, the local and state fire departments or local fire departments, the Federal Aviation Administration, the military bases. You mean to tell me the military that I served with don't know that these aircraft were parked on their bases that were being used to target me and to surveil my son, to watch my son? Bro, when I tell you, on this app that this gentleman gave me at the FAA, poor guy, he didn't know who the hell I was. It shows the route. It shows the grid coordinates of the routes that these flights fly. And if I had never been in aviation for 18 years, I would be a fucking oblivious to any of this stuff, to what the aircraft look like, to what the routes look like, to even be able to marry up my grid coordinate to my location to their flight path. They got the right motherfucker, because I can see it all. And I know who it is. I know who it is. But I'll tell you why. Because I was so fucking vocal on social media. These motherfuckers hate it. And let me tell you, when I started having my spiritual awakening, I used to put notes in my phone about different shit that would happen with me spiritually, stuff that I could see, visions, dreams, and shit. You know what I'm saying? My gifts, my certain spiritual gifts that started unlocking. Let me give you an example. One day, Aiden was taking a train from, I think it was Virginia, down to South Carolina to go meet up with my dad, to stay with my dad for the summer, right? But he was on a train and he fell asleep. And my dad had called me. He's like, I'm trying to get a hold of Aiden, but I can't find him. I can't get a hold of him. Aiden's phone had died. He was probably about 16, 17. His phone had died. He's on the train in South Carolina. And my dad is at the train station. He's like, the train is here, but I don't see him getting off. And I can't reach him because his phone is dead. So I'm calling Aiden in my mind. I'm calling him like, Aiden, wake up, wake up, wake up, Aiden. Aiden, wake up. You're there. Wake up. He's asleep on the train. The train is sitting there. And then all of a sudden, with his dead phone, he hears something. Something startles him and wakes him up out of his sleep. That's the spiritual gift that I'm talking about. That I'm entering these things and keeping logs of all these different things that's happening to me during my awakening. All of these spiritual gifts and insights and downloads that I'm getting, and all of these abilities that I'm unlocking. Right? So he wakes up. Then there was another time that I had a friend visiting years ago, maybe 2 or 3, 4 years ago. I don't know. A friend was visiting me, and this was around a little bit after COVID. And I was in the living room. They were in my room getting ready to go to the airport. And I'm in the living room, and I hear them say something about a mask. In my mind, I'm already hearing it. And so when I walk around the corner to go in the room to say, you ready to go? They ask me the question about the mask. And so I'm putting all of this information in my phone. I'm writing these notes about these gifts that are unlocking, these things, these visions, these things that I can hear. I'm putting it all in my phone. So what I know and understand is they've been watching me. They've been watching me, y'all. Since my gifts first came online and fucking exploded in 2014. They've been watching me before that. Probably. But they've been watching me just like they watched Yeshua and followed Yeshua and harassed Yeshua for his gifts, for the same gifts that he got and received from the universe when he awakened. The Roman Catholic Church followed and harassed Yeshua because Yeshua was coming to bring light to the people, to show the people, you don't need man to get to God. Source is within. And what does that do to the Roman Catholic Church? Strips them of their power. If people don't believe in religion, if people don't believe they need these men to lead them to God, strips them of their money, strips them of their power. So people like me, I'm a threat to the system because I have these gifts that I can share with people to help to unlock and ignite other people's awakenings, to help to unlock other people's spiritual gifts, unique spiritual gifts and talents. I get these messages and codes from the universe. I know the secret, the universal truths that have been manipulated by man. Have you believing stuff that ain't true at all is the most far thing from the truth. But see, I'm a threat to the system, like Yeshua was a threat to the system of old, because I carry this unique gift. I was born with this gift. I have a sacred, divine connection with the universe. And I get sacred, divine information and downloads from the universe. And they've been watching and listening to my conversations with my friends over the years, me divulging all of these spiritual gifts and knowledge and an intel that I've been getting from the universe. They've been keeping record. They've been watching me from a distance, and now they've stepped out of the shadows to target me. That's the deep, dark secret that I've been carrying since 2022 when they stepped out of the shadows to target me. You know why I've been keeping that secret since 2022? Because I felt like if I came forward and said anything, people would judge me. People would be like, oh, this bitch crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so convenient for people to call something crazy that they don't understand. It's so convenient to label something as crazy. That's the scapegoat in our society. When people don't understand something, or when people want to shut you down and shut you up, that's that's what it is. So this whole operation, this whole targeting operation from the system, from the beast of Babylon, has been to silence me, to shut me up, to get me to operate in fear, which I won't. I won't never shut up. I won't never operate in fear. I will share the information that I've been given from the universe with the collective, with my divine collective, always and forever. But that's the deep, dark secret that I've been carrying, that these people have been targeting me. The system has been targeting me using aircraft, using the local, state police, local and state police, using ambulance, using the fire department, using, I don't know, I don't know if it's our taxpayer money. Probably not. Could be, because they don't have no integrity. How you have integrity to come after somebody that served in the military for 26 years? I don't give a fuck if you don't agree with my beliefs. I don't give a fuck if you do feel threatened. How do you target somebody that served in the military selflessly for 26 years? Leaving my child behind many days, many mornings. He's 7 years old, 6 years old, 5 years old, waking up, and I have to go to work. I have to work all weekend, 10 hours on a Saturday, 10 hours on a Sunday, dedicating to the military. Calling home, checking in on him. You okay? You okay? You eat, you this, you that, you that. All the sacrifices. Being away from my family. These motherfuckers are so cold and callous. The Joint Chiefs of Staff. All of them. All of them that sit up at the top. The FBI, the CIA. They all targeting me because of my spiritual gifts. Because I'm a threat. I'm a threat to fucking Babylon. This shit gonna fall and crumble. It don't matter whether you target me or not. The awakening is to be. The change in the system is to be. Period. You cannot stop it. You will not stop it targeting me. I will never stop. I will never stop. Source will never let me stop. The anointing that covers my life will never allow me to stop. I will never be in fear of you. Period. With your planes, trains, automobiles, aircraft, bikes, I don't give a shit. It don't matter. I will never stop. I will never be silent. So, with that being said, family, that's the deep, dark secret that I've been carrying. They want me to shut the fuck up, but I won't. If you would be so kind to like, share, subscribe this video, I would appreciate it. Um, and I'm definitely going to be back with more messages in the future. Y'all know, y'all got to bear with me. Give me grace, because you know I ain't about shit when it comes to YouTube. But this is a secret that I've been carrying since 2022, right? That I've been suppressing and holding down, because I was like, if I say something, people gonna judge me. If I say something, you know, I'm afraid to be judged. I'm afraid to speak my truth, to live in my truth. I'm afraid to be judged. I want people to, I want to be validated in bullshit. You know, all this dumb shit. Like, that shit don't matter. I don't give a fuck. I'm open. This is what the fuck has been going on. That's probably why you ain't been getting that many videos. This is what the fuck goes on in my life every day, all day long. Since 2022. That's what's been going on every day, all day since 22, without cease. But you know I walk with the Most High, right? You know I walk with the Most High Source Creator, the Creator of everything, all things. So I don't walk with fear. I don't fear shit. I don't fear no man. I don't feel no fucking technology. I don't fear shit. Fuck all that. All that fear could suck my ass. I don't fear shit. And I'm going to keep fucking doing me. And I'm going to keep shining my light and saying what the fuck I want. Yeah, but that's the truth. That's my truth, beloved. That's what's been going on every day since 2022. How many days is that? 365 days times 3. Every day. That has been my reality. Targeted by the system. But I'm going to tell you what. Don't let this confession drive you away from using your voice for standing for what the fuck you believe in. Don't do that. Don't be silent. Be vocal about shit that you don't like. Be vocal. Speak out. Don't never stand down. Don't never stand down. Our ancestors did not stand down. We got some trailblazers out there. Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Bob Marley, all used their platforms. Rosa Parks, she ain't had no platform, but shit, the message got out. Prince, one of my faves, Princess Diana. I loved her spirit. She was sweet. She was amazing. Don't ever stand down. Don't never stand down. Resist. Resist. You are born. You have the right, the sovereign right to resist anything in the system that does not align with your truth, that does not align with your freedom, that does not align with justice. And that's what I'm about. And that's what they don't like. And that's why they want to silence me. But fuck them. Because I won't never. Fuck all of them. Because I won't never. All right, family. Love y'all. Stay blessed.